Hello, Lobo fans. Welcome into your Lobo Coaches Show. It's our first basketball show for 2022-2023. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. We have the head men's basketball coach at UNM, Richard Pitino. Coach Pitino, it's great to be with you. Congratulations. What a great start for your team.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, it's obviously when you have a lot of new guys, to be able to have some of the moments that we've had early to show them, hey, this is what good looks like, is very beneficial. And we've played some sneaky good teams, in my opinion, then to go on the road, get a great win versus SMU, then deal with all the adversity of a game cancellation, schedule changes, and then to be 6-0 is great. So there's still a lot to learn and get better from, but we've had some really good moments so far.
The Lobos have another great road test coming up at St. Mary's, one of the pillars of the West Coast Conference. We'll get to that in our final segment. You guys just wrapped up a tournament championship. You won the Lobo Classic. I
was fun. I mean, I know we haven't done it in a little while, but we really wanted to. I've said it a lot. When you're rebuilding this program, obviously recruiting, coaching, skill development, all those things, culture building are so important. But I really feel like we're rebuilding our fan base to bring them back. So we wanted to do as many creative things as possible, whether it was Iona in the non-conference, whether it's the Lobo Classic. We got to get our fan base re-engaged. Obviously, that showed that we did that by the way that we played, by selling the game out versus New Mexico State. That never obviously happened, but I think the town's buzzing again about Lobo basketball, and that's the goal. And then it'll go hand in hand with the growth of the program. So Lobo Classic was an idea we thought would be good, especially around the holidays. And obviously going 3-0. I mean, there's so many elements to it. Obviously the opponent, yourself, but 3 games in 3 days is challenging, and our guys did a great job.
6-0 start. You want to get a fan base re-energized? Go 6-0 to start a season. Best start in 10 years for the Lobos. How have you done it?
Well, I mean, I think our guys have been very, very coachable. Obviously, we did a great job in recruiting with our freshman class with Donovan, Quentin, and Braden, and then adding Josiah and Morris. You know, when you first take over a job, you don't know what you have. Well, then when you add 8 players in a pandemic off the Zooms, you really don't know what you have. So year one was about building the foundation, understanding what we have and what we need to add. And I think we really did a great job of addressing needs. And then I think playing to our guys' strengths. You know, we changed up a little bit of how we're playing offensively, working a lot more high-low basketball. It's been very effective. And the guys have all sacrificed a little bit more. You know, last year, Mash and House got a lot of shots. You know, they're sacrificing for the betterment of the team. They're still getting certainly a lot of shots, but we're playing inside out a little bit more. But more than anything, I think these guys are just hungry to get better and learn.
Coach Pitino talked about addressing needs in recruiting. Certainly the front court was one of those needs, maybe a primary need. You really have done that. We just get word, Mountain West Player of the Week after a tremendous tournament, Morris Udeze.
Yeah, it's nice to have a guy that you can throw it down to. And that's not a knock on Sebastian. Obviously, Jethro's left the team mid-break. Valdir Manuel never got cleared, so we didn't have true post players. Sebastian's going to grow and develop and get better, but we felt like we needed a impact guy in the transfer portal, and it's hard. I mean, it's all evolving. You're trying to figure out, do you take a kid maybe who played high major, who didn't play a lot, doesn't have a body of work? We kind of went with something comparable to us, with Wichita State, and we thought Morris would be a perfect fit. Transfers are interesting. If the situation's right, it can be great. And I thought for Morris, we were very clear on what we needed from him, and he's been great so far. So he's been very impressive.
What a finish to the tournament, the Lobo Classic from Morris Udeze. 33 points, 14 rebounds. This is only the 6th time in Lobo history a game like that had been pulled off. He's the 3rd player in a Lobo uniform ever to do that.
Yeah, I told him it was all me, all my offense, run the right plays for him. But he was impressive. And what was fun to see was our guys saying, okay, he's in a rhythm right now. We got to find him give him the ball. But he was terrific. Obviously, making his free throws for a big guy, that's hard. And that's experienced guys. They come back to work. They're confident. They put in the work. And Morris is a testament to that.
Incredible 13 for 13 performance from the foul line. Okay, we'll get to that game eventually. First, a win over Jacksonville State in the opener of the Lobo Classic. We break down the tape next with the coach. We're back on your Lobo Coaches Show with the head men's basketball coach at New Mexico, Richard Pitino. Coach Pitino, you guys are getting ready to host the Lobo Classic. It's a unique scenario in one of these MTEs where you have these 3 teams, you know you're going to play them, and you're going to play them in 3 consecutive days. What's the prep like?
Well, it got changed for sure when all of a sudden we were leading up to a sellout rivalry game with New Mexico State. That gets postponed. Now you have a long week, you have a 10-day break. So we changed up what we did. I did not want to practice every day leading up to it. That's when injuries happen, guys get worn out. So we did some individual instruction, we did some non-contact stuff, and then we kind of changed our game day routine a little bit. We didn't do shoot-arounds. I didn't even meet with the team after the game. I met with them on the court. It was like AAU style. It was great. But I just wanted rest, recovery, and then just walk through some things. I think sometimes as coaches we overthink things and we want to practice. Like when you're in that, you got to be fresh. So our guys were very mature about it. It was a lot more mental work than physical. And obviously we played our best basketball really towards the end in that last game. So that means we were fresh.
It's not like a conference tournament at the end of the year where you don't know who the next opponent is. In this case, how much advanced work do you actually do because you know you're going to get all 3 of them in 3 days?
Well, our assistants did a great job. We split it up amongst them with the scouts. I was able to live scout, which was nice after our game to be able to stay after and watch that. I really, when you have time to scout, certainly I watch a lot of film on the opponent. But in that type of circumstance, I try really, really hard to make sure we clean up anything from our game and then move on the next morning to the opponent to put together the game plan. But our assistant coaches did a great job.
Okay, first up on a Black Friday after Thanksgiving, Jacksonville State. Let's break down the tape with the coach. You guys have been getting off to really quick starts in games, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried to establish the low post there. I mean, we threw back on a ball screen, ducked in Morris. Our highest percentage shot right now is layups and post-ups. And we're charting it. We're getting our guys to understand it. We're shooting less threes. But more than anything, we're trying to work this high-low on the fast break. That gets open because of Josiah. Josiah posting up gets Jalen to the rim.
We saw Javante Johnson with a nice stick back. He's been rebounding just terrifically from his position. And Mo can put it on the deck a little bit, too.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of ripping and driving there. This little stagger screen for Mash coming out. That's been pretty effective for us.
Mash has been your highest percentage 3-point field goal shooter so far.
Well, we've tried to tell these guys, we got to take better shots. It helps you, it helps the team if we shoot in a better percentage. That's really good ball movement, inside to out. Get a paint touch, then kick out, make the extra pass.
When KJ Jenkins gets an open 3, we're thinking that's going in every time.
Yeah. Morris and Josiah are just relentless on the offensive glass. Same play right here underneath that out of bounds. Mash curls it. He's elite at this mid-range shot right here.
He just owns that right elbow. That is his spot. Nice backdoor cut by House there and a find by Mash.
Yeah, that's something where we kind of lift up the backside and do a little double back cut. Here's Mash getting to the rim, which is good. I mean, he's obviously been very good at that. Donovan Dent is just an absolute monster in ball screen, and Sebastian right there seals, and it gets him the layup.
Oh, such a great look there from Dent to Forsling. And you guys, again, getting on the defensive glass here and getting a run out.
Yeah, Javante did a good job of rebounding the basketball. We got to get him to continue to do that. The shots will fall. Now they try to go zone. We do a good job of getting a paint touch, then kicking back out for a catch-and-shoot 3.
How has your team handled when the opponents have gone zone here early in the year?
So far, so good. I mean, we've gotten some really good looks out of it. The best thing to do is be confident against it. Because besides Jim Boeheim, most teams don't want to play zone. They want to play man. And just hit that middle, kick out, get an open shot. Good job on the break. Again, Donovan gets 2 on the ball. Great pick and roll basketball. I said after the game, Mash and House can really learn from him because he is terrific playing in ball screens.
Boy, he said it too. He reads that screen's getting blitzed, and he's been able to find guys for dunks. And
really
Mo
good job.
Had a bunch. Whew.
Yeah, really good job of playing on the baseline. That's kind of our press offense attack right there. Barima, got to stay on balance there, but does a good job around the rim. So it was a good first win.
79-61 over Jacksonville State. From that one, what pleased you most?
I thought our effort, rebounding the basketball, getting out on the break was terrific. The defense, especially the first half, was great. we were ready to go. I was worried about the long break, and I thought our guys handled it very, very well.
Unusual at this part of the year to have 10 days without a game.
Yeah, it's coaches love it, players hate it. So like we said, we tried to be as smart with our prep leading up to make sure that they are fresh for 3 games.
Okay, Lobos get a win in their first win in the Lobo Classic. North Dakota State is up next. We break down the tape next. Welcome back into the Lobo Coaches Show. I'm your host, Rob Portnoy, with the head men's basketball coach at New Mexico, Richard Pitino. The Lobos had an opening win in the Lobo Classic over Jacksonville State. North Dakota State was up next. Let's get to the tape.
A different type game plan, much more inside-out basketball from them. We needed to be tough around the basket. We thought North Dakota State would provide a lot of resistance there. We did a really good job of punching inside early.
Udeze 22 points in the first game of the tournament. This one, you had balance scoring, 4 guys in double figures.
Very good job. Yeah, it was a very balanced box score. Little action we run for Mash coming to his right hand. We try to be as creative as possible, getting him going to that right hand because he's really good at it. Really good catch by Josiah. I told him after you're done playing, we're going to send that to the NFL.
He looks like a tight end, too.
He does. Good job here. We've gotten this a couple times. Get them sleeping, fake the handoff, drive, and go.
Udeze to the rim and some harm. What about defending North Dakota State and their 2 bigs? Ooh, nice pick there.
Yeah, we did a good job of, getting a high number of deflections, creating steal to get out on the break. We're trying to limit paint touches. North Dakota State is not a great 3-point shooting team, so we're able to converge on those guys. We continue to be really, really good on the break. In our defense, you see it right there, 21% in the first half was terrific. Little DHO action for Javante going to his left hand. Now we rebound and we run. Josiah gets out, and by establishing that post up, it allows Mash to take away any help opportunities.
How about the way that your half-court sets have operated here early?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been very good. We ran a little high-low action right there, where the guard is a passer, not a big, which has been pretty effective. Another inside-out opportunity. Now we got a ball screen. Jalen should have thrown it to the front of the rim there because Josiah was right there. It was a good reject. We love rejecting ball screens. He's going to dish that off to Josiah.
Josiah kept it alive, and Jalen's able to pay it off. And then Donovan Dent, again on the defensive end, pokes one away. Nobody hustles more than House.
Yeah, and does a really good job of playing off 2 feet there and laying it in. House with a good second effort. We get lost defensively. We got to be more solid there, but a really good second effort to kind of clean up a mistake.
Don't expect a guard to get 3 block shots, but House defensively not just steals, but knocking shots away too.
Great job here by Josiah of catching it and not dribbling it, so they can't slap down. Really good job. Nice pass.
And just terrific hands. He has just shown that throughout the first part of this season.
That's a low percentage shot by Mash. House got to do a better job of not dribbling a loose ball. Ends up working out for us here where we get a corner 3, a catch and shoot 3 from the paint is what we're looking for.
Is Mash shooting the 3 so well because of the quality of shot that he's taking?
I think he's getting better shots. That's what we've talked to him about, is find the high quality shots. And what's been great for us so far is, like we talked about, is layups. But then those catch and shoot 3s from the paint are much higher quality shots. So I think the balance offensively is better. House and Mash may not get as many points as last year, but like you said, we want them to be more efficient offensively, so hopefully their percentages go up.
So a 21-point win over North Dakota State. You shut down the one big that going into that game was coming off a 31-point effort in their first game of the tournament. The other one went off a little bit, but you were able pretty much to control their front court, which was the focus defensively?
Well, it was more what we did offensively because we put him in foul trouble. He was never able to get into a rhythm because we just kept going at him. And so you can certainly scheme defensively what you're trying to do, but when you have good bigs, go at them because good bigs don't want to foul. They want to be on the court. So I thought we did a great job of keeping him off balance. Now, their other big is a really good player as well, and he hurt us. But, for the most part, I thought it was another really good balanced effort by everybody.
Okay, the Lobos knock off North Dakota State. That sets up a tournament championship final. Northern Colorado and New Mexico on the final day of the event on a Sunday in the pit. We'll check that one out next with Coach. We're back to wrap up this edition of your Lobo Coaches Show with the head men's basketball coach at New Mexico, Richard Pitino. I'm Robert Portnoy, and it's time to get into the final game of the Lobo Classic. Northern Colorado and New Mexico for a tournament championship in the pit. And this one was a track meet at the start, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were trying to go out there big, so we felt like that was the advantage for us. Started off great. They're a very good offensive team. I felt like we just needed to counter punch, and then we did a much, much better job in the second half of guarding. It was great to see Josiah knock down a three. He can do that, and so much of our offense is predicated on the four-man stretching on throwbacks and things like that. House gets a little ambitious on this one, but a really good effort and then a kick out for an open three. Great to see Javante hit a three. Great to see Josiah hit a three, get their confidence going.
The contrast in styles between these two teams was evident early. You mentioned it, pounding it inside. The Lobos, they were just banging threes. Nice to see you guys get a couple of early threes, but it was really the work doing inside work with Morris Udeze. Unbelievable in this one.
Yeah, and a really good drive again with the post up. The post up takes away the help, which is great. Josiah did a really good job of finishing. He missed a couple layups. Another back cut. House is really good at back cutting. He's our best back cut guy because he's so quick. And there's Donovan Dent again, putting two on the ball and making the right decision.
And there's Mo, through contact, finishing. What can you say? Is that as good a performance by a big as you've seen in your coaching career for one of your guys?
It was impressive, yeah. And again, what I liked the most about it was our guys recognized it and kept feeding him the ball, which is great to see. Good job keeping the ball out of the paint. Nice bounce pass for a simple layup. Really good job getting out on the break.
House doing what he does, turning defense into offense.
Much better job for our guys of finishing at the rim. We were not great in our second game with layups. So they obviously hit the three. And a little bit of that too is we don't have great length on the perimeter. Javante's backing up way too much there. They were just shooting over us. There's another seal and a drive to the basket, taking away the help. When you got guards who can go off the bounce like that, the better job you do of posting up, good things are going to happen.
Good to see Jalen House's shot start to fall as well. He got some offensive rhythm in this one, Coach.
Yeah, he was really good. He bounced back. I didn't think he played great in the second game. Showed great maturity to kind of flush it and move on. Another time here where we got to look to fake that, go to the basket. That was open a couple times. The fans saw it before we saw it.
There were a couple where you could have gone to the rim earlier. A little step back three. How about Donovan Dent?
Well, if they're going to go under a ball screen, Donovan's got to be able to knock it down. So they game plan for him not to be able to shoot it. That was a miscue. We were supposed to switch the ball screen. Got screwed up on the coverage. And again, they made us pay.
That was the adjustment you made in the second half, though, switching the ball screens to take away those open threes they were getting?
It was, yeah, and we just kind of had a lapse where we forgot what we were doing. Another seal drive to the basket. Morris, these big guys are getting those guys layups. Two on the ball, phenomenal pass.
Boy, he just has a sense, Dent does, when to go low with the bounce pass, go high with the lob pass. He's just terrific in that screen roll.
He is very, very good at it. Nice paint touch, kick out three.
As you guys start to pull away here in the second half, you go on this remarkable 16-0 run. How did you take control of this game the way you did?
You know, they cut it to 4. We called a timeout, settled them down. Just told them, listen, guys, like, everybody's going to be tired. Who's going to play through the fatigue? This is where you're going to win the game, is in the last 7-8 minutes, and we obviously went on a really good run. Nice effort on the offensive glass. Really good pass.
Again, the high
Two
ball
on the
screen.
ball. Perfect.
Dent, so good with either hand, too. That time left-handed, one-handed, off the bounce to set up the Udeze dunk.
This is, again, that little play we've been running, a little high-low pass from the guard so they can't sag. And again, another ball screen. Okay, now they're going to hedge out. He splits it. He gets to the rim. Really, really good. Really good.
End up winning it by 24, 98-74 to win the Lobo Classic. Hold up the trophy.
There's the trophy. We're not sure where we found it from. Guys are great, though. I mean, it's more than anything, it's to be able to win 3 games in 3 days is hard. Our fans were great. And, so a lot of good. Now we got to get a little rest, and then we got to move on.
So you win the Lobo Classic, and you're 6-0. You had a game that you would have liked in there that would have had 15,000 in the pit that you didn't get to play. Are the Lobos going to be able to maybe schedule another game here coming up in the place of the game that would have happened at New Mexico State?
We're working on it. The problem is, I think people forget we're not in the middle of a pandemic anymore. When all of the reschedules were happening, everybody was canceling games. Not everybody's canceling games. So we've got a couple of irons in the fire. Hopefully we can get some good information on it. I mean, the biggest thing, besides the fact that the game was postponed, our fans, the revenue, and all those things, from a scheduling standpoint, we felt as though New Mexico State, Iona, SMU, St. Mary's were kind of our key games. So to take 2 of those away, we got to see if we can add some quality. So working on it.
Okay, the Lobos go on the road to take on St. Mary's. Going to be a tough one against one of the top teams in the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, I mean, they've consistently won a lot of games. Well coached, hard place to play. So it's going to be a very, very good challenge for our guys, and we'll learn a lot about our team. We handled SMU very well on the road. Let's see if we can do it. And just continue to grow and get better.
All right, best of luck against the Gales. We can't wait for that trip, Coach. Congratulations on a 6-0 start, first time in 10 years for the Lobos. Awesome work.
Thank you.
For Lobo head men's basketball coach Richard Pitino, our broadcast director Chase Christensen, SID extraordinaire Steve Kirkland, I'm Robert Portnoy. Till next time, so long everybody, and go Lobos.